Hi guys, I'm a forester here with the first in a series of videos that I'm going to make going over all the knives in my knife collection. Now hopefully I'll be able to make at least one video per week until I'm through. The idea for this video came from comments that I've received on past videos asking how many knives that I own. Well, I actually have never counted them, but by the end of this series of videos, we'll all know. Now I'm going to start with my Spyderco Sages because they're such unique knives and I have the whole set of them. The Sages were designed to honor the main knife lock designers. The Sage 4 with the mid-back lock was my very first Sage that I purchased. Let's go to the tabletop and take a close-up look at each Sage. I'll give you my general impressions after having owned them for several years. Okay, here we are at the tabletop, and here's my entire set of Spyderco Sages, all 6 of them. There's 5 different locking systems honored in this series, but the Sage 3 with the bolt action lock has 2 handle variants. The first one with the blue G10 handle, and then later they came out with the carbon fiber handle. I was very fortunate to be able to buy the blue version from a subscriber, Randall Kelly, who had 2 of them. Comment below if there are other versions of the Sage that I've missed somehow. Now, I have individual videos of each of these knives, so to keep this fairly short, I only intend to give general overviews of them in this video. I think Spyderco hit a home run with the Sage series because it spoke to collectors like me. The knife design is perfect for all handle sizes with that forward finger choil. It fits even my large mitts. And the handle is well over 4 inches long, including that forward finger choil, which leaves plenty of room. The blade has a 2.5 inch cutting edge, which is adequate for most jobs. These are perfectly sized EDC knives. I wanted the whole collection, but some of you might just have 1 or 2 of your favorite knives. My personal favorite, and the one that I carry the most, is this Sage 4 that features the Almar front lock design, or might call it a mid-lock design. I like it because of the desert ironwood handle scales. I'll try to give you a good look at those. They've darkened naturally over time, but they're still beautiful. The Sage 4 was probably the least popular of the Sages, but I think they've increased in value the most of all. I recently saw a Sage 4 sell on the Apostle P's weekly knife sale for around $325, and that was considered a good price. So the Sage 4 convinced me that I liked this design, and then I started filling in the rest of the series. Now they're all basically identical in size and shape. They all use CPM S30V steel. They mainly differ in locking mechanism and a couple of other minor features that I'll point out. Now, the Michael Walker liner lock was Spyderco's first designer to honor. It's the first of the 3 Sages with carbon fiber handle scales, and each knife design has a different weave pattern, and I'll try to highlight that as I go through these. This Sage 1 is my second most carried Sage, and I actually dropped it and got a small ding in the top of the blade. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it's right there. All the others are pristine. The Sage 2 with the Chris Reeve integral lock, or I call it a frame lock, is the classiest of the Sage series, I think. It's made of titanium, as are the Chris Reeve Sabenzas. This is my 3rd most carried knife of the Sages, and it's in mint condition. And all of my Sages still have the factory edge. Now, as I mentioned, there are 2 variants of the Sage 3. The first is this blue G10, and the second is the carbon fiber, and I'll show you that weave pattern. This is very different from the first one. Both of these have great action. It's hard to do doing this video, but the Sage 3 is the first of the series without a flow-through design. That's one difference. And there's one other very curious difference, and it's the printing on both sides of the blade. Here's the printing there, and then there. And that's very different from how all the other Sages are. So I don't know why they made that different, but it is. the printing is a smaller font and the placement is different. Now, I've already talked about the Sage 4. I'll go ahead and open it so they're all open. So I'll just jump to the last in the series, which is the Sage 5. This features Sal Glesser's compression lock on the back there. It's the third in the series to have the carbon fiber on the handle scale, and again, it's a very unique look to it. It's most similar to the carbon fiber of the Sage 1, but it's less shiny and it has a twinkle in the right light. I'll rotate it so maybe you can get a look at that. So there you have it, the first 6 knives of my knife collection. If you want to see more of these videos, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I respond to all comments. Y'all take care.